King Charles is trapped in a delicate balancing act. On one side, there's the son he's always loved, Harry, a man who once stood by his side but has now become a symbol of defiance and division. On the other side, there's the monarchy, an institution that demands unity and stability, especially in the face of scandal and public scrutiny. And right now, Charles is stuck in what insiders are calling his no-win Harry dilemma. If Charles agrees to meet with Harry, he risks rupturing his already fragile relationship with Prince William. The two brothers, once inseparable, are now divided by a chasm that seems almost impossible to bridge. The bond between William and Harry is already stretched to its limits, and any sign of reconciliation between the king and Harry could feel like a betrayal to William. With the monarchy's future at stake, it's a risk Charles can't take lightly. But if Charles refuses to meet Harry, the damage might be even worse. Harry, already embittered by what he perceives as years of mistreatment, could become even more vocal. His public demands would likely escalate, and the tension between father and son could become irreparable. The public fallout would be intense, potentially deepening the rift within the family forever. As if the weight of the monarchy wasn't enough, Charles is also battling with his own health. His treatment has drained him physically, and the emotional toll of managing this ongoing drama is wearing him thin. The clock is ticking, not just on his health, but on the very survival of the royal family's unity. Charles knows that every decision he makes, every move he makes, could be the one that changes everything. As if the pressure on King Charles wasn't enough, Harry's demands are not just unreasonable, they're almost absurd. Word has it that Harry isn't just looking for a quiet, private reunion with his father. He's demanding a full-blown royal summit, and with a list of conditions that seem ripped from a fantasy. The audacity of it all is hard to ignore. First, Harry insists that Meghan receive full HRH, Her Royal Highness, status again. Yes, you heard that right. The same Meghan Markle who has publicly slammed the royal family at every opportunity. The same Meghan who spent years accusing the monarchy of racism, indifference, and countless other grievances. Now, Harry is demanding that the entire royal family curtsy or bow to her. Imagine that, an institution that's survived centuries now, forced to bow to the very woman who's been a thorn in its side. But it doesn't stop there. Harry is asking his father to personally fund round-the-clock security for his entire family, despite the fact that they're no longer working royals. The taxpayers, who've already been footing the bill for Harry's security in the past, are expected to continue funding his lavish lifestyle. It's not just entitlement, it's a display of royal delusion. The idea that the monarchy would cater to these demands is, frankly, outlandish. And perhaps the most outrageous request of all, Harry wants King Charles to drop everything and meet him when he arrives in London on Harry's terms. No regard for the king's health, no consideration for his treatment schedule, and certainly no respect for the timing of the trip, which just so happens to fall on the solemn anniversary of Queen Elizabeth's death. Harry seems to expect his father to put everything on hold, roll out the red carpet, and apologize for the past, as if the monarchy exists solely to serve his whims. It's clear that Harry isn't looking for peace, he's looking for control. This isn't a father and son trying to heal old wounds. It's a spectacle, a performance designed to put the monarchy in a position of weakness. And the longer this goes on, the more it becomes evident that King Charles is being backed into a corner by a son who seems determined to push every last button. While King Charles is caught in the middle, Prince William stands firm, unwavering in his resolve. Where his father sees a path to reconciliation, William sees only betrayal. The rift between the two brothers is beyond repair for him, and he's made it clear there's no room for forgiveness after what Harry and Meghan have done, not just to the monarchy, but to the family itself. William isn't just angry, he's resolute. His sense of duty to the crown and the legacy of Queen Elizabeth runs deeper than any familial connection. To him, the integrity of the royal family must come first, even if it means severing ties with his brother. William reportedly told aides that if King Charles even considers legitimizing Harry's return to the fold, it would be seen as a betrayal of everything they stand for. This isn't merely about hurt feelings or personal grievances. For William, this is about protecting the monarchy and ensuring its future. The monarchy has weathered decades of scrutiny, scandal, and upheaval, and with the weight of that legacy resting on his shoulders, William refuses to let it crumble under the pressure of personal drama. He's stepping into his role as the future king, and he knows that any sign of weakness, any wavering in the face of Harry's demands, could send the entire institution into chaos. William's position is not just about loyalty to his father or his grandmother's memory, it's about survival. The survival of the monarchy, of the family, and of the future throne. While Charles has been torn between love and duty, William's focus is singular: to protect the crown at all costs. His refusal to entertain Harry's demands signals a shift in the royal dynamic, and one that will likely shape the monarchy's future for generations to come. The royal family has always been a symbol of unity, tradition, and discretion values Harry himself once embraced. But in recent years, he's done everything in his power to tear those values apart. Harry didn't just drift away from the monarchy, he actively burned every bridge in sight. And now it's clear, he's not content with just distancing himself from the royal family. He wants to take down the entire institution. The public betrayals are too many to ignore. From Netflix tell-all documentaries to leaked memoirs, Harry has aired the royal family's private matters in the most public way possible. Family secrets that were meant to stay within the palace walls have been sold to the highest bidder, all for profit. And one moment stands out as a particularly painful example of this betrayal. After Prince Philip's funeral, King Charles shared a private, heartfelt moment with his sons. "Please be kind. I don't know how long I have," he reportedly said, a father's plea for peace in the midst of grief. But instead of keeping this vulnerable moment within the family, Harry did the unthinkable. He handed the quote over to American media for cash, turning a private plea into another headline. That was the moment, insiders say, when trust within the family shattered beyond repair. Princess Anne, often the quiet observer, is said to have remarked, "The only safe topic with Harry is the weather." Trust was gone, respect evaporated, and the wounds inflicted by Harry's public actions are still raw. For Charles, this betrayal isn't just personal. It's a deep wound in the heart of the monarchy. And as Harry continues to leverage public opinion, the rift between him and his family grows wider, with no sign of reconciliation in sight. While Harry's actions have created chaos, Prince William is quietly solidifying his position as the future of the monarchy. The shift is subtle, but unmistakable. William is no longer just the heir apparent. He is already acting like the leader the royal family needs. As his father, King Charles, continues to battle health issues and navigate a public relations nightmare, William has stepped up, showing strength and resolve that go beyond his years. Behind the palace doors, William has grown more assertive, more confident in his role, and much less tolerant of nonsense, especially from his younger brother. What was once an open question, "What can I do to help?" has now shifted to something more commanding. "These are my plans." William isn't sitting around waiting for things to settle. With his father's reign in question and whispers of a shorter reign growing louder, William knows that the monarchy's future depends on his ability to act decisively. His transformation from the future king to the unofficial co-captain of the royal family is evident. Where Charles is caught between love and duty, William's focus is crystal clear: protect the institution. He's not just preparing for his future role, he's stepping into it, now when the monarchy needs him most. As the media swirls with rumors about King Charles's health and the family's internal divisions, William has remained steady. His public appearances are purposeful, his speeches mature and controlled, and his approval ratings remain high. What's more, William is more than just the face of the monarchy's future. His actions show that he's ready to carry the weight of that legacy right now, ensuring the stability of the monarchy through the tumultuous times ahead. As the drama around Harry escalates, William's position grows stronger, not just in the eyes of the public, but in the eyes of the royal family itself. While Prince William strengthens his position with quiet resolve, Harry continues to play a very different game, one that revolves around the media and public opinion. Every time there's silence from King Charles or Prince William, a familiar pattern emerges: a new leak, a juicy quote, or a strategically timed headline. It's clear Harry is using the press as his weapon, and the aim is to force his father's hand. It's almost ironic at this point. Harry has spent years accusing the royal family of manipulating the media, planting stories, and twisting narratives to their advantage. Yet, here he is, doing exactly what he once condemned. His circle leaks carefully curated stories to the British tabloids, fueling the idea that Charles is neglecting his sick son or that William is unyielding in his refusal to reconcile. Each story is timed to perfection, often appearing just when Harry's demands seem to be ignored. as if to pressure the royal family into meeting his terms. But what's fascinating is the public's response. Rather than backing Harry, these media tactics seem to be pushing them further away from him. The British public isn't buying into the narrative Harry is selling. Instead of generating sympathy, his attempts to guilt-trip his father are only increasing support for the royal family. People are beginning to see through the manipulation, recognizing it for what it is, a play for relevance and control. Harry's demands protection at taxpayer expense, royal treatment for Meghan, and dictating the king's schedule seem to be ripped straight from a fantasy novel. And the more he uses the media to amplify his voice, the more the public grows weary of the drama. His actions seem to be backfiring, pushing him into a corner while William quietly consolidates power. The media game Harry is playing may have worked in the past, but now it only serves to highlight his desperation. For King Charles, this entire saga is more than just a public relations battle. It's a personal and emotional struggle that has taken its toll on both his body and spirit. As a father, Charles has always worn his heart on his sleeve, and the weight of watching his son Harry publicly tear apart everything they once shared is crushing. Behind closed doors, the king is exhausted, both physically and emotionally. His health is fragile, his energy depleted by ongoing treatment, and the relentless media circus surrounding his family only deepens the strain. Every leak, every headline, every strategically timed press release from Harry's camp chips away at Charles' resolve. It's not just the external pressures that are wearing him down, it's the internal ones. Charles finds himself caught between his love for his son and his duty to protect the crown. The monarchy has always been his primary responsibility, but he can't help but feel torn, watching the institution he's worked his whole life to uphold unravel in front of him. What makes it even harder for Charles is the absence of real support from his own family. Queen Camilla, his rock during this tumultuous time, is one of the few constants in his life. Strong, practical, and fiercely protective, she's reportedly urging him to take a firm stand against Harry's demands, to remember not just the disrespect shown to him, but to the institution as a whole. Camilla understands the delicate balance Charles must maintain between his love for his son and his responsibility to the monarchy. She's not sentimental, she's pragmatic, and, in her own way, she's pushing Charles toward a difficult but necessary decision: he must choose the crown. But even with Camilla's steady guidance, Charles knows the emotional toll of making that decision will be immense. The king's heart is heavy, and every move he makes feels like it could fracture his family beyond repair. Yet, as the pressure mounts, it's becoming increasingly clear that Charles must choose peace, not through reconciliation with Harry, but through choosing the stability and future of the monarchy over the endless cycle of drama. The question now is whether he can withstand the emotional storm long enough to make that choice. King Charles is reaching a tipping point. The endless drama, the leaks, the public spectacle, all of it has taken a profound emotional toll, and now the king faces a painful reality: something has to give. For months, he has tried to balance the impossible maintaining a fatherly relationship with Harry while also preserving the dignity and stability of the monarchy, but that delicate balance is no longer sustainable. Charles knows that he can no longer juggle the demands of his son with the responsibilities of his reign. The pressure is mounting on all fronts, from his health struggles to the constant media scrutiny and the fractured relationships within his own family. Behind the palace walls, people are beginning to accept that the king might have to make a final, definitive decision, one that could change the course of the monarchy forever. For too long, Charles has allowed hope to linger, that somehow the rift with Harry could heal, that the bonds of family could be repaired. But the cracks in those bonds are now too deep, the wounds too raw. The idea that Harry's demands could be met, or that he could re-enter the royal fold, feels more and more like a fantasy. Charles is coming to terms with the fact that his son may never return to the family, and that he must make a choice: protect the crown or protect the relationship with Harry. This realization doesn't come easily, especially for a man who has always wanted harmony. But the cost of continuing down this path of uncertainty is too high, both for the monarchy and for Charles himself. The king is beginning to accept that real peace, true peace, won't come from trying to appease Harry or patching up their relationship. The peace he needs is one that ends the cycle, a peace that comes from prioritizing the monarchy's survival over the emotional chaos his son has dragged him into. As this painful clarity sets in, King Charles knows that whatever decision he makes, the consequences will be far-reaching. The monarchy will move forward, but it will move without Harry, without the possibility of reconciliation. And for Charles, that might be the only way to secure the future of the crown. The royal family has long been a symbol of endurance, tradition, and unity, but what's unfolding behind palace walls is a battle for survival. King Charles, once torn between his love for his son and his duty to the crown, is now facing a harsh truth: peace will not come through reconciliation with Harry. It's not the reunion the world might have hoped for, but rather a decision that prioritizes the monarchy's future over a fractured family. As Harry continues to push for control, leaking stories and making outrageous demands, the public's sympathy is shifting away from him. The more he tries to manipulate public opinion, the more he risks isolating himself. Meanwhile, Prince William, with his growing power and resolve, stands firm in his mission to protect the legacy of Queen Elizabeth and secure the monarchy's future. His approval ratings soar, and his position as the steady, capable leader of the royal family becomes clearer by the day. King Charles may not be able to change the past, but he's slowly accepting that his reign can't continue to be overshadowed by Harry's demands. The monarchy, battered but resilient, is now drawing its line in the sand. And while Harry's star fades, William's rises as the symbol of the monarchy's future. For Charles, the time has come to make a choice that may, for the first time, put the crown before his son. The question now isn't whether Harry will be welcomed back, it's whether the monarchy can withstand the toll of trying to keep it all together.